Welcome to Retro Scale Modeling. This is part 9 of Tamiya's Kawasaki Ninja ZX-12R. Scale is 1 to 12. Now part 9 is the final reveal video. Before we get into that thought, my thoughts on the kit as normal. So if you followed this build from the start, you know that I haven't actually built a build like this kit before. This is all completely new to me. So I've undoubtedly made some mistakes along the way and things like that. You know, but what other mistakes I've made, it's not really down to the kit. That would be down to me. So I'm not really going to comment too much on those mistakes because they're just me screwing up. It's nothing really to do with the kit. And also, I'd just like to point out on the video itself. Again, if you've been following the build, you'll know that I've been having a few PC issues. Just to recap on that, my old PC died. I had to get a new one, and which is unfortunate because I was saving up for a new camera equipment and sound system. But you know, the PC, it would be no good without the PC, so I had to get the new PC. Anyway, woe is me. The downside of that also is all the charts and everything I had for my paintless alternative paints, they're all gone. So I'm having to rebuild all that up, and that's going to take an extensive amount of time. At the moment, time I don't have. So the layout of the videos are slightly different. And because of these little issues, this build actually took me quite some time to build. I started it a couple of months ago, believe it or not, and I'm just getting it finished now. So with everything in between, it has taken some time to do it. And it's taken me a little bit of time to get back into the actual hobby as well because of that. But I'm gradually getting back there. So onto the kit. The kit is nicely presented. I like the box art, all the different variants on the box art. The instructions are okay. They're not brilliant, but they're okay. Like typical of these instructions, I think they could do with a little bit more information, and a little bit easier to follow, depending on your build skill. If you're a very experienced builder, you won't have a problem, or you've had experience building this type of subject before, it's not going to be a problem. My wife, for instance, this is her kit. She builds bikes all the time, and she says that yeah, it's easy enough to do, but she does them all the time. For me, it was all new. So I was impressed with the sprues inside the box. They were nice and clean. I was particularly intrigued with the clear green plastic for the fairing for the bike. I hadn't come across that before. And I immediately thought, well, they're obviously doing that so that you can see the workings of the engine and so on in the bike. Of course, you've got the option of painting over it, having it in a solid colour. Now, if you want it other than the classic Kawasaki green, then you would have to paint over it. Obviously, they just give it in that one mould colour. You know, so I opted for having it in a see-through colour, and I'm glad I did. I think it looks quite stunning, being able to see all the mechanizations inside the bike. Now, the kit is got a lot of screws and things like that in it, and it does supply a little screwdriver, which is magnetic, I should point out as well, so that's handy putting in the screws. The downside of that is all the screws are in one little bag, so you have to measure your screws before you're using them because it will call for a certain length and width of a screw. So if you've never done something like that before, you may be confused on what size of screw that you need to build the kit. But if you measure it against a steel rule or something like that, you will be fine. There's a lot of aspects of the kit that call for no cement. Especially on the fuel tank, the seats and things like that. Now, they are designed to open up and flip up. However, when you have everything closed down, it doesn't quite sit right. Well, that's what I found on my kit anyway. Although I would have dearly have liked all that movement within the seat and everything like that, in the end I decided to cement them down to get them flush, because as I said, there was too many parts. It was just showing gap because it wasn't sitting squarely or onto the bike and clicking in like you would expect. However, I will say if you're able to get a hold of a 112 figure to sit on the bike, then that wouldn't be a problem because it would push everything down. But that would be an extra expense, of course, to come with the kit. I did like how the wheels and the chain drive mechanism was constructed in the kit. That was a joy to do, how it's all laid out, and the painting guides for that, everything else that goes with it. That was really good as well. The fairing, the instructions weren't 100% clear how it goes together. It doesn't really tell you that it's all got to be joined up on the bike. Now, again, bear in mind, I've never built anything like that, so and I'm not really knowledgeable about motorbikes anyway. I didn't know this, so it took a little bit of figuring out how it goes. So I'm and when I approached this kit, it was like a complete novice, even though I've got a lot of skill in the hobby. It would have been helpful to have that better illustrated in the instructions. But overall, I really enjoyed the kit. I liked the engine, how it went together. As I said, the drive change and the wheels, that was really good. And it does actually turn out to a nice size representation of the bike. All the little niggles of the build aside, it's a really good, enjoyable kit to build, and it challenged me slightly, which is always a good thing in my opinion. So with that in mind, I would recommend this kit, but only for the intermediate to advanced builder. The beginner may find this difficult to build. The block assemblies are easy enough. It's all the little screws and with the fairing and things like that. A new person to the hobby would find this quite challenging to do. So although I've not really got any real interest in the subject in motorbikes and that, I wouldn't mind building some more of these, having my own little collection, because it was an enjoyable build. And obviously if I build more, I get better at them as well, of course. So that's enough from me about the kit. I would just recommend it if you haven't got it. It's a good one to have. So coming up is the final reveal. And once you've watched it, why don't you jump over to the channel and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and hit that notification bell. That way you'll be kept up to date on my next build. My next build is going to be quite a big one, and still in the planning stages for that. And have a look, leave a comment if you want to see something built. I've got quite a large stash, so I haven't got it in there. I can probably get a hold of the kit. You can share the video as well as leaving your comments, of course. But it's time for the final reveal, so all that's left for me to say is thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next build. Bye bye for now.